This is the Meike or Meike 16mm T2.5 full frame cinema lens. So you already know the plan. I'm going to be unboxing this lens, seeing what's inside of this package, everything that it comes with. And then also, like usual, I have had this lens for about a week now and I've used it a couple times and I have some first impressions on it, so I have already used this. And if this is your first time on my channel, I typically like to do that with my unboxings. I'll use it for at least a little bit just to gather some impressions that I can talk about while I'm doing an unboxing video. And then I just pack it up back in here and then do an unboxing for you guys so you can see everything that comes in the box, as well as some actual real life impressions from using it. Obviously not a review, but either way, all right, let's just get into it. This is the box right here. You know, it's got some weight to it, but the box is fairly simple. It just lists some of the specs on the side and whatnot, but pretty simple box. Opens up from the top right here. These fold out, and then there we go. We got our protective foam right there. Let's pull that out. And you can see the lens right away. So that's the 16mm lens cap. You can see right there, the little 16. Let's pull this out of here. At least try to. There we go. All right, so there's the lens, but we're gonna save that for last. Let's put that over here. And there's a couple other things in this box actually. So first of all, ooh, this is actually a really good quality feeling microfiber, you know, little cleaning wipe essentially to clean off the lens, the dust off the glass and whatnot. But this one actually feels really good quality. I'm definitely gonna keep this. Right here we have what I believe are shims. So you can actually shim this if your focus is a little bit off from the markings that it says in the lens, to essentially just get it perfect so where, you know, the exact markings of the lens is exactly the distance away that your focus is. Because of course, when they're manufacturing thousands and thousands of these lenses, you know, it's difficult to make sure every single one is perfectly calibrated. So they essentially just give you these to help you calibrate it yourself if it needs to. Then let's see what else in here. Of course, silica gel, probably came in every single package I've ever unboxed on this channel. And then we got this right here. So this is actually a lens support. So you can attach this to the lens, and then it has two 1/4x20 threads in the bottom for a lens support system, or even just to mount the lens itself to your tripod if your, you know, weight is kind of balanced more on the lens side. Besides that, the box is fully empty. Just some more foam in there. Next up, we have the actual lens itself. Here it is in some bubble wrap. Let's just pull it out of the bubble wrap. There it is. 16mm T2.5 cinema lens from Meike or Meike. Let's pull this lens cap off. Here's a nice slip-on lens cap. Oh, look at that. Huge front element. This actually has 86mm filter threads. So the biggest ND filters that I have are 82mm, and I did get an 86 to 82mm step-down ring, so I could use my ND filters on this. And it mostly works. I use this on a Sony a7S III in full frame, and with just the 86mm to 82mm step down ring, I didn't have any vignetting, but once I put on my ND filter, there was just the smallest amount. It did go away in active stabilization mode, so if you don't have a full frame camera, then you would never really notice it, or I mean, you might even have an 86mm ND filter. I just personally didn't. Right off the bat, this thing feels really nice quality. Now, something I do notice every once in a while, and it almost seems like the first time I'll pick it up for the day and use it, I'll notice it, and then it's, you know, after I move the focus around quite a bit, it'll smooth out. Yeah, I can kind of hear it right now. Let me just bring up to the mic and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's a little rough sounding and slightly feeling. It's almost like they should have put a little bit more grease inside the lens, you know, for the focus ring. Because in some spots, it almost feels a little like slightly different, and then you can hear it almost like it just needs grease, like there's just metal on metal. I don't want to exaggerate it. It's very, very slight and it's barely noticeable, so I really don't want to blow it out of proportion, but it is something I noticed since I've used this lens. Now I don't know if, you know, all different copies might be slightly different, but it's definitely something I noticed. You know, I feel like they should have maybe, you know, just went a step up on the grease, you know, inside of the focus and iris gears, but that's just something really simple that I noticed. But besides that, this lens is awesome. I mean, 16mm is, you know, a super wide angle on full frame. I've noticed a little bit of distortion, But besides that, I mean, the image coming out of this lens just looks awesome. It's super clean, it's sharp. I really had no issues with it. And like I said, small amount of distortion, but I don't think it's anything that would be bothersome or really noticeable in any situation unless you're looking directly at like a straight up and down line. And then it opens up to T2.5, which, you know, T-stops and F-stops are similar, but if we were to call this an F-stop, it would probably be like F2.2, something like that, probably F2.2. It's faster than like a, you know, 16mm F2.8 lens would be. And I really don't think there are many situations where you'd need larger than a T2.5 aperture, especially on full frame. And something else to mention, so the focus throw on this, it's a purpose-built cinema lens, so it's gonna have a very long focus throw. It's close to 360 degrees. The only issue with this is if you're focusing handheld, or even with a handheld follow focus, like a non-electric one where you can program the lengths essentially. This is a very long focus throw, and let's say I'm focusing for something like far away to something close, you know, in one shot, you know, I'm trying to get a nice smooth shot doing that. You can't really do that without having to turn and then like re-grip and then keep turning, which you're gonna notice that in your video. You might notice a little bit of a shake when you let go and grab it again, you know, to move your hand into a different position to keep turning it. That's just something to mention. So like, you know, right now, this is the closest it'll go. I'm gonna go to infinity focus. There we go. So it took two, like, you know, full as far as I could go with my wrist essentially. So that's another thing to mention. If you're getting focused just with your hands like this, without using like a follow focus system, it's definitely gonna be a little bit cumbersome, a little bit slower than a photo lens. It'll have a lot shorter focus throw. All right, I just want to add this in here real quick, just to give you a little bit of an example of what this looks like. So I'm recording with the 16mm T2.5 wide open at T2.5 right now on a full frame Sony a7S III. So this is what it looks like on a full frame. I am pretty much a full arm's length away, so like 3 feet away from the camera right now. And you can pretty much see, I mean, yeah, you can see essentially the entire room that I'm in right now. It's an ultra wide view. I mean, you can almost see both my arms still, and I'm only 3 feet away from the camera. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna also pick it up and do kind of like a vlogging example too, just to see what that looks like, even though you probably shouldn't use the cinema lens to vlog. There's no autofocus or anything like that. I had to manually get focus right now, so you can see I'm, you know, way out of focus now. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up and kind of do a little vlogging test and show you what that looks like. All right, there you go. I'm holding the camera out full arm's length right now, and this is not light at all. I have a cage on here, cinema lens, a PL mount adapter, a microphone, a top handle, and an iFootage mini pod thing. So my arm already hurts, but this is what it looks like. This is like the perfect angle for vlogging. Like, I think this looks fantastic. But of course, like I said, I wouldn't really recommend this for vlogging because there's no autofocus and it's really heavy. I probably can only hold my arm up for like 30 more seconds, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But either way, I'm gonna go back to the regular video now. I just want to add this in. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you are watching this right now, hit the like button and subscribe. But anyways, all right. But that is pretty much my first impressions and the unboxing on the Meike 16mm T2.5 full frame cinema lens. This thing feels really good quality. It's fully made out of metal. I have the PL mount here. And I mean, this thing is just, feels like it's built like a tank. It looks like it's built like a tank. And I'm super excited to get a bunch of use out of this. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.